This is my last series wrap up before the end of the year. I will let you know that my reading my books on my shelf and doing the goals that I started at the beginning of the year reading wise are not going well. it's not going well. That mostly being because I have been spending my time doing a bunch of other things in addition to reading, still reading, but also getting into a bunch of other hobbies and cycling through different things and whatever. So the commitment to it has been much harder this year than anticipated. And I've also been freelance editing, which I've talked about like a little bit briefly here, but freelance editing really takes like 2 to 3 books worth of time a month for even if I'm only doing like about one manuscript a month for that. If you're interested, I'm already booking for 2026. I have like one slot at the beginning of 2026 and then it's like June. So if you want to work with me, you can. It's all listed down below. But yeah, I have not had as much time. So let's get into this brief update, the last that you will get before all of the end of the year wrap-ups, which is really right around the corner. So I continued on with 2 series that had already started. One of those being the Fallen God series by Hannah Kinnear. I read Sunbringer. I think I might have a review for this. I hope that I do. And if I do, it'll be linked on the screen. If not, the wrap-up, it's listed and it'll be linked on the screen. But I really love this series. This is doing a lot of things that I really enjoy, so 5 out of 5 stars for this one. Then I also continued with the Terra Ignata series by Ada Palmer with the Will to Battle, which is the 3rd book in the series. The 4th book is the final book. I'm hoping to finish this before the end of the year. I've been listening to these on audio, so that's a little bit easier for me to do and like fit in versus the things that I'm reading physically. So continued on with those 2 series. Then I started one new series. That's the Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the space opera with like spiders, alien spiders, is how a lot of people summarize it. I really enjoyed this. I should actually do a full review on this because this is a book that is so interesting, and I think not a lot of people know what it's actually about because of summaries like what I just gave. There's more to it than that. It's very interesting. So yeah, started this series. This is a book that was on my shelf. It's been on my shelf for like 2 years, so this was on my like must read on my TBR as far as physical TBR for this year, so that's why I desperately needed to get to this one, and I did. So now I think I only have possibly 1 book left from last, maybe this was the only one. I don't remember. That is not what this video is about. So I started this series, and then I finished the Burning Kingdom series by Tasha Suri with the Lotus Empire. Loved this. This is so good. 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing series. A series that I really wanted to make sure that I finished this year, and I did. I listened to all the books on audio. I reread the first 2 books on audio, and then was like, kind of want to listen to this on audio as well because it is so good. So I kind of mixed. I've been doing a lot of like, with some of the books that are on my actual shelf, like doing mixed reading where I will listen to some of it and I will read some of it physically. So that was very fun and I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, I would have loved to make a dent with more finished, but I did not. However, I did do a few things that moved around my stats and have like taken some things off the list. One of them being I DNF'd the Atlas series by Olivia Blake. I started reading the Atlas Complex. I got 50 pages in and I was like, I don't care. This was already something that I was pushing myself to kind of read because I've liked the Atlas series, but I haven't loved it as much. Like so many people loved the Atlas 6, and then it just kind of fell off. A lot of people who did love the series also talked about not liking this book, and I just was like, I don't think she's gonna stick this landing. I could be wrong, but I don't think she is, and I'm also not invested enough to see. So yeah, I read a little bit of it, I listened to some on audio, and I was like, I don't care about all of these privileged assholes, because that's really what this is, because it's like a dark academia. Yeah, and like, even though there's like a very diverse group of people, like technically with like race and stuff, the whole thing is that they also like all come from a place of like economic privilege and stuff. So yeah, it just was like, you know what? Not right now. I don't think I care. So will I read more Olivia Blake stuff? Yes. I have some other things by her on my shelf, but this was just like, I don't care. I've forgotten. There's so many characters. What is going on? So yeah, DNF'd this. And then in my little reading tracker, my reading spreadsheet that I use to keep track of all my numbers, which I'll tell you at the very end, I took the Anita Blake series off that list as something that is like an unfinished series because I'm like, I'm never going to finish that series. That is a series that I will go back to the first handful of books, which I recently did, and reread some of those because they are such nostalgic urban fantasy trash for me. I love them. Like the first like 9 to like 12. I can like eke it into sort of the 12. I'm never going to catch up. She is never going to wrap that thing up. Like, it's just, no. I didn't know. There's other books that I can read and other urban fantasies that I can get into. So I'm not trying to finish that series, therefore I took it off my list. It's not technically DNF'd because it's still a series that I will read. And maybe I will get closer, like I'll read more of them that I haven't read yet. I think I've read like 17 or something. I don't know. I've talked about this series before. It's crazy. So yeah, but that's off my list of like numbers. So with all that being said, I've completed 4 series so far in 2025. I've DNF'd 2. And then I have 8 series that I am caught up on. So they are currently worked on series, but the last book hasn't come out yet. Then I have 25 unfinished series, unfortunately. So the last couple of years, I've finished 5 or 6 series. 2022, I finished 11, which was like my best year for finishing up series. So yeah, I think I would like to get this number up to like, ideally I'd finish like 3 more series. That does mean approximately a series a month though. And is that gonna happen? I don't know. I would like it to though. What can I do with this? So my plan for this is in my reading spreadsheet, I do kind of mark and highlight some of the series in there that's like, you have these books on your shelf that you could finish this series. So I'm at 4 right now. I could finish The Divide by J.S. Dews. That is a sci-fi series. There's 2 books left in there, and I own both books, and I have one of them currently checked out on audio. So I'm going to say right now that I'm going to finish that, or DNF it if I don't like it, but still like that counts as getting some series off the list. The stretch thing is that I have The Rook and the Rose series by, I don't have the author in front of me, but I will put a picture here. And I have the last 2 books in that series as well. Those are chunkier books though. And with my time that I currently have for reading, I do not know if I will get to those necessarily. But ideally, in a perfect world, I would finish those 2, which would get me up to 6. There's a couple series that I could catch up on then that I also have highlighted. I have the next book in the Legendborn series by Tracy Dion, but I know it's crazy that I haven't read that yet. I was highly anticipating it, and I bought it like right after it came out. But I want to reread the second book before I read the third book, and that's more time. Then I also could continue with the Iron Widow series, but that is very similar to the Atlas Complex, where a lot of people said that they didn't like that second book, and I also kind of want to reread the first one. I have to less with that one. I feel like that one's more viscerally stuck in my brain. Legendborn has like way more details and things that I want to like remember than I think the like Iron Widow, Heavenly Tyrant stuff does. I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I've read them. Here's an idea. So the final book in the Witchland series, I believe, is coming out in like November. I got an email that was like, we will send you a final copy, because I was like, please give me a copy of this. And they were like, sure, yes, you are a big fan of the series. And I was like, yes, thank you. So if I finish The Divide, maybe The Rook and the Rose, and then that series, because that's the final book in the series, then I'll have finished, like I will be above my 6. The Witchlands, I also kind of want to reread some stuff. I've read the first 2 books multiple times now. I kind of would just want to, and I've also now read Blood Witch, which is the 3rd book, also multiple times. But I kind of want to read Blood Witch. What's the Witch Shadow was the most recent one before this, and then now the final one is going to be coming out. So I don't know. All of these things are hard. It's hard to get series off your list. So I'm kind of going to be conflicted between, am I going to want to complete some series and feel good about that, or get even more books off my TBR? Because if I complete the series, I'm going to have to reread some things. I mean, for me to like truly enjoy the immersive experience, I'm going to have to reread some things. So do I want to reread some things, which means my TBR goals would not be completed, like for sure, or do I want to balance them? Or do I want to lean really heavy into the TBR goals? I don't know. We will see. We will see at the end of the year. So yeah, that is it for my series so far this year. Comment below and let me know how your series reading is going. Let me know how you think my series reading is going to go. What do you think I'm going to end up doing? Am I going to finish series? Am I going to lean into TBR? Am I going to do none of it? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts. Do some little divination for me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.